Emily had always been an achiever, a straight-A student, captain of the debate team. She had dreamed of conquering the business world, but found herself taking a peculiar detour when she applied to be the personal assistant of Daniel Hayes, a rising star in the corporate realm. Daniel had been her childhood crush, the golden boy of their high school, charming everyone with his quick wit and effortless charisma. Emily had always been a shadow in his periphery back then, and far too intimidated to even strike up a conversation. When she saw his name in the job offer years later, nostalgia surged through her. Against her better judgment, she took the job. She told herself it wasn't about him. It was a stepping stone, a chance to learn, but deep down, she hoped working with him might lead to something more. For years, Emily poured her heart into her work. She organized every chaotic schedule, prepped him for every big meeting, and solved crises before they even reached his desk. But Daniel never really saw her. He acknowledged her competence with polite nods and the occasional thanks, but she remained invisible. She watched him climb the corporate ladder, dazzling the boardroom and garnering accolades, while she stayed firmly in the background. Her emotions became a quiet ache, a mixture of longing and frustration. She didn't want to seem desperate, but every unnoticed effort chipped away her confidence. After a few years, Emily had enough. She handed in her resignation with a calm professionalism that masked her turmoil. Leaving, Daniel had asked, surprised but unbothered, "You've been great, Em. Best of luck." That was it. No fight to keep her, no recognition of her loyalty. It had stung more than she'd admit. Using the skills and industry knowledge she had quietly amassed, Emily started her own firm. The early years were grueling, filled with late nights and constant setbacks, but she was relentless, applying the same meticulous care she had once reserved for Daniel's career to building her own empire. 5 years later, Emily's company, Apex Solutions, was a formidable player in the market. She had grown into a confident leader, one who commanded respect and admiration. Her name was no longer whispered in the background. It was spoken loudly in boardrooms. One day, fate orchestrated a twist. Daniel's company, once thriving, was now floundering due to a series of poor decision-making and market changes. His clients forced them to get consultation from Apex Solutions. When Emily walked into the conference room as the CEO of Apex Solutions, Daniel froze. The posed, self-assured woman before him was a stark contrast to the assistant he had taken for granted years ago. Her eyes were sharp and her presence magnetic. "Emily," he said, his voice tinged with a mix of surprise and unease. "Mr. Hayes," she replied coolly, taking her seat across from him. As the meeting progressed, Daniel struggled to match her composed demeanor. Emily controlled the room, outlining terms and conditions with precision. She was firm but fair, her success a stark reminder of the potential he had overlooked. When the deal was nearly finalized, Daniel lingered. "You've come a long way," he said, his voice softer now, almost regretful. "So have you," Emily replied, a hint of a smile curving her lips. He hesitated, searching for the right words. "I should have seen your brilliance back then." "You didn't," she said simply, standing up. As she walked away, she paused at the door, turned and said, "And one more thing. Apex will take the deal, but I'll be leading the project personally. You'll report to me, Daniel." The room fell silent as her words sank in. Emily gave him one last look, her expression readable. "This time, don't underestimate me." She walked out, leaving him stunned and, for the first time, acutely aware of the depth of what he had lost. Emily had finally stopped waiting for someone else to see her worth. She had built her own stage, and the world couldn't dare to look away.